They come to you with questions, accusations, expectations. They want to see something in your face: excitement, fear, guilt, need, validation, anything. Because if they can make you react, they can measure you. If they can measure you, they can control you. But what if you give them nothing? What if you become a void, emotionless, unreadable, unreachable? What if they try to pull you in, and you never move? That's when the power shifts. Machiavelli understood that the most terrifying force is not aggression, it is emptiness. The man who attacks can be attacked back. The man who explains can be questioned. The man who begs can be denied. But the man who offers nothing, who responds to every manipulation attempt with stillness, to every provocation with calm, to every desire with absence, becomes a psychological black hole. People orbit him. They throw emotions at him, and none come back. And in that silence, in that abyss, they lose themselves. Because human beings are not built to tolerate the void. We crave mirrors. We want reflection. We need some kind of reaction to feel like we exist. If someone loves us, we feel worthy. If someone hates us, we feel powerful. But if someone feels nothing, if someone doesn't react, doesn't engage, doesn't move, we start to question everything. Why am I not getting through to him? What is he thinking? Does he even care? Is he stronger than me? And in that spiral of questions, we begin to submit. This is Machiavelli's law of the void. When you offer them nothing, they will give you everything. Because silence is not empty, it's a weapon. An unbearable space that others rush to fill with their secrets, their fears, their projections. They start confessing without being asked. They try to impress you without knowing what you value. They try to hurt you without knowing if you're wounded. And the entire time you are simply still, present but impenetrable, alive but unreadable. This is not passivity. It is active psychological warfare. The modern world teaches you to be expressive. Show your emotions, explain yourself, make others feel safe. But Machiavelli knew that every time you reveal a piece of yourself, you lose leverage. Every emotion shared is a weapon surrendered. Every reaction given is a pattern exposed. And every pattern exposed is a chain wrapped around your throat, because someone out there is watching, taking notes, planning how to use it. But what if there is no pattern? What if instead of being fire, you become space? No heat, no light, no edge, just cold stillness. Now they don't know where to strike. Now they don't know what hurts you. Now they don't even know if you can be hurt. And that uncertainty becomes obsession. They begin to chase your validation. They overthink your silences. They interpret your every glance, your every pause, your every breath. You haven't said a word, but you are dominating the entire room. Not with volume, but with emptiness. The Machiavellian understands this instinctively. He doesn't run around asserting dominance. He becomes the one others cannot read. And in that mystery, they assign him strength. Because people fear what they don't understand, and they respect what they fear. But this level of control requires a brutal kind of discipline. To become a void, you must kill your addiction to reaction. When they insult you, you must not flinch. When they compliment you, you must not smile. When they test your limits, you must not explain where the line is. You do not confirm. You do not deny. You do not perform. You exist. Cold, composed, incomplete in a way that makes others project their deepest insecurities onto your silence. And here's the hidden genius. When you give them nothing, they do the work. They reveal their tactics, trying to break you. They reveal their desires, trying to impress you. They reveal their guilt, trying to earn your forgiveness. And all of it, without you moving a single piece. You are playing a game without playing at all. And because of that, you always win. But let's be clear, this isn't about pretending to be silent while seething on the inside. It's not about bottling emotion. It's about transcending the need for expression. It's about becoming emotionally sovereign, so that no external event can shake your core. That's the real void. A mind so grounded in itself, so self-contained, that no insult can reach it, no compliment can seduce it, no crisis can move it without permission. That kind of man is rare, because he's immune to gossip, because he doesn't seek reputation, immune to praise, because he doesn't need approval, immune to manipulation, because he doesn't react to bait. Immune to threats, because his fear can't be read. Now imagine walking into a room like that. People looking, waiting, watching for any sign of emotion, and getting nothing. They start speaking louder, making jokes, poking, praising, posturing, desperate to wake you up, to break the silence. And you sit there, still, not out of rudeness, but because you don't need to dance for anyone. That calmness, that lack of emotional dependence, that is the most Machiavellian position you can take. And here's the paradox. The less you give, the more they give. You offer no compliments, and they begin complimenting you more, hoping to earn one. You share no pain, and they open up to you, desperate to be understood. You reveal no desire, and they shape themselves into what they think you want. You are not giving, yet you are taking, without asking, without forcing, without lifting a finger. This is the essence of the void. It is not an absence of presence. It is a presence so potent, so still, so unreactive, that it absorbs others. They try to define you, and in doing so, they expose themselves. They try to pull you in, and in trying, they lose their footing. The void doesn't chase. It doesn't hunt. It doesn't shout. It simply sits, and everything else moves around it. Machiavelli would tell you, when you offer them nothing, you become the most valuable thing in the room. Because in a world obsessed with attention, silence is rare, and what is rare becomes sacred. People will give everything to be chosen by the one who doesn't choose easily. They will confess to the one who never asked. They will break for the one who never bent. But you must mean it. You must become the void. Not pretend, not perform, become. And once you do, once you truly become unreachable, unreadable, unfazed, you will understand a deeper power than words can teach. You will see people unravel without touching them. You will see enemies hesitate without threats. You will see loyalty given without demands. All because you stopped chasing. All because you stopped giving. All because you became nothing. And from that nothing, they gave you everything. The man who becomes a void becomes a mirror for everyone else's chaos. When you offer nothing, you reflect everything. They see their own fears, their own projections, their own desperations staring back at them, and it breaks them. Because they were never trying to win over you. They were trying to conquer the feeling of being ignored. And your silence makes that feeling grow louder until they're no longer reacting to you at all, but to the emptiness inside themselves. This is the deepest Machiavellian trick of all, using absence as dominance. Absence is power. A king does not attend every meeting. A ruler does not answer every insult. A dangerous man does not need to announce his presence. When you become absent, not physically, but psychologically, you make others do the emotional labor. They chase you in their minds. They rehearse conversations with you that never happened. They beg for clarity from someone who never offered it. And while they spiral, you remain untouched, still, composed, unmoved. This is not cruelty, it is structure. You are not withholding out of malice, you are preserving your value. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. The more predictable you are, the less power you hold. But when you become unreadable, when your silence becomes a riddle, people pour themselves into solving you. And the more they try, the deeper their obsession grows. Because what is rare is desired, but what is unknowable is worshipped. Think of seduction. The person who shows too much, who talks endlessly, who chases relentlessly, becomes boring. They are known, measured, filed away. But the one who gives only fragments, who says little, reveals less, and moves on without explanation, that person lingers in the mind forever. People crave answers, and the one who denies them becomes unforgettable. Even if you offer nothing, your absence fills their thoughts. That is the law of the void. But to wield this law properly, you must build it into your posture, into the way you carry yourself at all times. When someone is emotional, you remain calm. When someone attacks, you stay still. When someone offers flattery, you receive it like stone. You reveal no tells, no joy, no disappointment, no fear, because the moment you show too much, the illusion shatters. The void is not an act, it is an identity. And this identity must extend into your dealings, your negotiations, your relationships. When someone pushes you to speak, you pause longer. When they ask for answers, you ask better questions. When they try to provoke, you respond with disinterest. When they cry for your attention, you give them distance. Why? Because people respect what they cannot access. They chase what does not chase them. They worship what does not move. You are not being aloof. You are being deliberate. Let's say you're in a negotiation. The average man talks too much. He over-explains, tries to prove his worth, tries to justify his terms, and in doing so, he weakens them. But the Machiavellian? He lets the other side speak. He lets silence dominate the room. And while they scramble to interpret his stillness, he calculates. They don't know where he stands, so they adjust to protect themselves. They offer more than they need to. They fear losing him, even though he hasn't moved an inch. That is the power of the void. It makes people fear its disappearance. Now translate this into human relationships. The person who needs nothing becomes magnetic. Most people seek validation, approval, and emotional feeding. But if you seek nothing, if you simply exist, not empty, but full in your stillness, you force people to earn your attention. And what is earned is respected. What is respected is valued. What is valued is kept. This is how you flip the social script without ever raising your voice. The more emotion you give away freely, the more people use it against you. They test your boundaries because you made them visible. They manipulate your desires because you made them obvious. They bait your weaknesses because you flinched once. And after that, they know exactly which string to pull. But when you become the void, you give them no strings, only silence. They don't know what you want. They don't know what you fear. They don't know what you'll tolerate. So they hesitate. That hesitation, that's the first crack in their strategy. And from that crack, you begin to control the narrative, not by speaking, but by not speaking. Because silence is not passive, it's active power. The silence of a man who has nothing to prove and nothing to explain is the loudest force in any room. But let's go deeper. Why does this work so well? Because the world is addicted to stimulation. Everyone is constantly reacting, refreshing, responding. They want fast answers, fast validation, fast emotion. So when they encounter someone who moves slowly, who offers nothing, who holds himself like a mountain, they freeze. Their dopamine loop short circuits. Their manipulation tactics crash. Their performance falls apart. Because the void offers no script to respond to. They came ready for a drama. You gave them stillness. Now they don't know what to do. So they give you everything. Their secrets, their loyalty, their admiration, their control. And you gave them silence. This is what Machiavelli meant when he warned against being too accessible, too familiar, too easy to understand. Familiarity breeds contempt, but mystery breeds obsession. And the man who becomes the void becomes a mystery so profound that people offer him everything just to feel close to something they will never fully grasp. But you must protect the void. You must maintain the mystery. You must discipline your expression. It is tempting to speak when provoked. It is tempting to explain when misunderstood. It is tempting to open up when lonely. Don't. Because every time you break the void, you remind them that you're just like them. And the moment they believe that, the spell breaks. You become less than what they feared. Less than what they imagined. You become known. And what is known is no longer powerful. It is manageable. So keep the silence. Keep the distance. Keep the uncertainty. And watch as people give you what they never gave the ones who begged for it. Not because you demanded. Not because you manipulated. But because you mastered the one thing no one else could. The art of being nothing in a world addicted to everything. That is how you win. That is how you own them. That is how you get everything, by offering them nothing, by becoming the void.